We've all had crazy busy days, trying to stay on top of our inbox, managing constant interruptions, racing from one meeting to another, and struggling to deliver on the tasks that drive real value. We underestimate the amount of time required to get those tasks done, and it's impossible to find a quiet 15 minutes to think. It feels like we're on a stationary bike, pedaling like crazy but never moving forwards. Meanwhile, our anxiety levels rocket. What's going on? Let's look at what happens in our brain and how we can train it to focus on getting our real work done. So first, it's the amount of information we have to deal with. Our brains are bombarded with data. Psychologists tell us that we can only take in about 7 pieces of information at once. So if you're drafting a document, your colleagues are chatting next to you, you're worried about a difficult conversation you have to have with someone later that day, you feel hungry and that reminds you need to go home via the supermarket, there's a LinkedIn notification, a message from a WhatsApp group, another email's ping, that's HR telling you about Friday's cake sale or something, and an instant message pops up at the same time, your brain is full. It doesn't matter how smart you are, whether you're a genius or a goldfish, your brain is drained. You've got no cognitive capacity left. So instead of trying to think, it's easier to go back to the old routine stuff, the appearance of work anyway, normally responding to that email or getting lost in a news feed. You can't fight distractions, you have to eliminate them. So move to a quiet place, switch off notifications on all your digital channels, even your mum. Put your headphones on, stick your phone in a drawer, say no to interruptions and tell people not to disturb you. Next, fight your instinct to do what's screaming out in front of you but isn't actually important. Scientists have identified a brain phenomenon called the urgency effect. Our brains prioritise immediate satisfaction over long-term rewards. So we're getting hooked on the dopamine hit of getting something done, kind of box ticking. We far prefer those urgent smaller tasks with a deadline than more important tasks that don't have an immediate time restraint. It's an immediate payoff. That's why we power through tasks on a to-do list without ever actually thinking, why am I doing this and is this really the best use of my time? So control the urgency effect by scheduling your time. Write a to-do list and allocate time to these tasks in your diary. Ring-fence time for your priorities and don't let anyone hijack that time. Schedule in those urgent but less important tasks so you complete them within their deadline, but make sure that you actually prioritise your priorities. Genius. Now note that it's absolutely vital that you do schedule in those less important tasks, because if you don't, they'll niggle away at you day and night, as you know. And this is called the Zeigarnik effect, the fascinating tendency of the human mind to fixate on unfinished tasks. So rather than feeling proud about the tasks we've completed, instead we stress about the small stuff we've still got to do, emails, cleaning up, whatever it is. The solution is that we don't actually have to complete the task itself in order to free up this preoccupation. Instead, we just need to make a plan for when we're going to do the tasks. So again, we block out time in our diary to do all the minor tasks and calls, whatever we need to do, and that allows us to forget about them and concentrate on what we should be doing right now instead, the big stuff. Finally, don't kid yourself that you're staying on top of everything by multitasking. We cannot concentrate on 2 things at once. So we're not fooling our brain with that juggling myth. You know, checking emails in a meeting, taking a call during dinner, or interrupting your report writing to answer a "have you got 5 minutes" query. We're just kidding ourselves here. And every time we interrupt ourselves like this, it takes at least twice as long, some researchers say 10 times as long, to get back on track to what we should be doing. So check it out for yourself. It can take another 20 minutes or so to refocus after that 5-minute interruption. Most of us have jobs that require us to think, so give your brain a chance, do one significant thing at a time. It's time to match our tasks to our schedule. Now I'm giving you permission to be selfish. Please quote me. Work on your own to-do list and not everyone else's. Get back in control of your time and your agenda. Allocate tasks to your diary. If there's not room because it's full of meetings, then you've got to start renegotiating and saying no. Maybe a call could do instead. Block out time when you are at your most alert to get your priority tasks done, but also block out time to power through all the quick, smaller stuff too, so you manage the Zeigarnik effect. Remove choice and distraction. Work through a good old-fashioned to-do list so you don't have to waste time choosing between tasks and figuring out what to do next. Give yourself space to think. Be controlled busy from now on, not crazy busy. Thank you very much.